CNN, ain't see none of my friends. Swag gave me the blues, they never walked in my shoes. They want us living in fear, it ain't what I'm trying to hear. Switched it over to Fox, kept clicking, I barely stopped. New guests on NBC, no one that represent me, so I got tired of waiting. Sit master debate, give me some headlines, it must be past bedtime. Sleeping on me still like I ain't vitamin D for real. Rep your city, play devil's advocate. Wayne Brady gon' have to smack a bit. Tell me something good, a recipe for success. Give me some timeline, shop session and flight deck. Hey, P, what's next?
League MVP, Defensive Player of the Year. Now it's time to add to your resume. NBA champion. How does that sound?
Man, I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible. Anything's possible!
I woke up bright and early from a dream we're pursuing, so I gotta get it moving. Man, we gotta get it moving. Rumble, young man rumble. No, Lord, we don't break down, we break through. Cause our mama ain't raised no fool. I'm gonna run this race if I ain't got shoes. And if you ain't sprinting with me, then I've been to a do. So it ain't nothing left to. It ain't nothing left to. But the yabba dabba do. But the yabba dabba do.
Yay. It's your nigga C.O.D, the Cater Boy Music, welcoming you to episode 20 of Gimme Some Headlines. And for episode 20, y'all already know we gonna start it out with one of my favorite segments, Flight Deck / Gimme Some Second Line. And I'm in there bed rhyming, bed timing. And if we gonna bed time, we need a duo. Y'all already know. If you fucking with me, you fucking with the third. So I'm gonna go to bring in my nigga P. He.
You're in love with somebody else.
Once again, we back in the thing. It's your man, P. Henry Trotter IV, a.k.a. Home Run Trot, a.k.a. Casino P, a.k.a. Mr. Long P, a.k.a. PhD, a.k.a. Mock Tube, a.k.a. Quinn with the pen and with the lens. What it do, man?
What it do, G? I put my head before my ass and I ain't even introduce myself to the people because I'm already all that grass. This your nigga C.O.D, the Cater Boy Music, a.k.a. C.O.D MD. You goddamn right. A.k.a. Tabula Rasa, a.k.a. Big Tabby, a.k.a. Grandma Baby. Rest in peace to Grandma Todd. Love you, boo. What it do, man?
What it is, man. Anything for the 20 piece.
Yeah, I already know it, man. So let me tell the people what we talking about, man. We 20 episodes in, man, and we proud.
Yeah.
Period. You feel what I'm saying? They never thought we'd make it. We doing this shit straight out the rip, straight out the hip. And I feel like if you check out the progression, you'll see we getting better and better and better at this shit. The aesthetic, the vibe, the flow, and everything. And when I think aesthetic, vibe, and flow, and just a cold-blooded motherfucker killer like myself, I think of the boy Carmelo Anthony, the great Melo. Hey, you talking about Big Melo. Hey, you talking about Melo Classic. Now that it's a young Melo. Hey, you talking about. Right. But yeah, man, I just want to talk to the people about the 6'7", 238-pound motherfucker small forward from Brooklyn, New York. You feel what I'm saying? And Give Me Some Second Line is a love letter in its title to the city of New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? My dog P from the South. I'm from the South. We from the third coast. So we show love to the whole bitty. And how they do their homegoing service is something that has always captivated us and we've loved for a long time. And we just feel like people deserve to get their roses while they fucking here. So Give Me Some Second Line is a segment where we just love on people while they can fucking hear the words. Is pretty much the vibe. Did I do it justice, P?
Yeah, that's it.
Is Melo not a deserving motherfucking Give Me Some Second Line segment? Okay, there we go. There we go. There.
But Melo, yeah, he in that same pantheon with the GOAT. Like it's
Period.
It's straight up.
The same way you talk about Charles Barkley whenever you mention Michael Jordan, even though he don't have any championships. You need to mention Carmelo Anthony. The same way you talk about Karl Malone, you need to mention Carmelo Anthony, man. The boy went to Townsend Catholic High School. You feel what I'm saying? Transferred over to Oak Hill Academy to get that national recognition. Well, he did play Bron in high school. They've been battling since back then. This man, a 10-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA second team, 4-time All-NBA third team. Social Justice Champion Award winner in 2021. You understand me? Leader. NBA scoring champion in 2013. NBA All-Rookie first team. NCAA champion in 2003. Went and did his one and done. That's how him and Brian end up in the same class because he decided to not come straight out of high school. So he do got something that Brian don't have. That NCAA title. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you got Ben Simmons, Embiid. You got great players that went through there and weren't able to get it done. So to say this man isn't a winner is nonsense. Because how many titles do Syracuse have since he left?
How many did they have before he got there?
You got me. You did. That boy from Brooklyn went to a New York school and put him on his back. That nigga stayed at home. You feel me? He ain't go to Miami for 4 years. And then come back, transfer to Syracuse. You feel what I'm saying? But I ain't even go through all the man laudables. I'm going to just draw a clear line in the sand for you. Carmelo Anthony, instead of teaming up with them in Miami, went to New York to do his own thing. He tried to do what Bron did after the 4 years in Miami and go win one for his home team. That's what he did instead of teaming up with the big three Heat. Chris Bosh was the turd in the punch bowl. Not to say that he ain't a great player, but like he wasn't a part of the crew. He not one of the banana boat boys. No. Even in the offseason, you didn't see him on them trips where Melo almost drowned and LeBron jumped in and saved him and shit. Melo could have easily went to Miami and LeBron never leave Miami. So you don't get Cleveland, Bron. You don't get the Warriors. You don't get none of that shit. Because Melo stay in Miami, and when Wade start having his issues, people cycle in. Period, bro. But he went to New York and tried to do it by himself. Do what Giannis just was able to do. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. But in his career, he faced the Boston Big Three, the Big Three in Miami. He had to go through the motherfucking reconstructed super team Lakers. The Spurs that waxed the Big Three Heat twice. You feel what the fuck I'm saying? The OKC Thunder with Russ, Harden, and KD. This is the reason Melo don't have a ship. Because he has never been on a team constructed anything like anything he went up against. It was always him versus the motherfucking world. And all he ever did was come out as Hoodie Melo and snipe. Period. You feel what I'm saying? Following Melo is what led me to JR. And I told you, JR, like, as far as my fandomship, I love JR as much as I love Bron. Like, I love watching JR hoop. And the reason I know JR for real, is watching Melo at. So shouts out to the guy and Melo, man. And I toss it to you to throw some flowers to him, man. Because what made me think about it, man, is seeing him on the shop. And he was speaking about different conversations he had with Jit during the year where he was away. And his Jit was asking, he was like, him, dad? He in the league? But you not? And then it was like, what you tell her? What you say to her? He's like, look, man, everybody got different situations. And I was like, that nigga cool in hell. He don't hate on nobody, bro.
Yeah.
You can't convince him to not be himself, bro.
Right. And that's a hard thing to fucking do.
Period, bro.
In today's climate, in today's society, that's a hard thing to do, is not be able to convince people not to be themselves.
Bro, and I feel like he the type of man to where if you ask him if he could go back and do it different, would he go to Miami? I don't think he'd change.
Nah, I don't think he would.
Yeah, he a real one, bro. And he the type of nigga to live with the weight of his decisions, bro. Shouts out to Melo, bro. Yeah, the floor is yours, G.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna keep it all the way a stack. For a lot of his career, I didn't like that nigga. For a lot of his career, I didn't like him. And that was because my fandomship laid elsewhere. And I thought he shot the ball too much. And I've come off that. Like I was always in that. You play ball with me. I'm very much a share of the rock. Like I share the ball quite a bit. I play a lot of defense. I like to rebound. Like I do everything well. I don't do anything great. I do everything well. He never.
You played organized b-ball, and you are a point guard. You stay that way when you play pickup.
It don't change, and until I got older, and like I've had like kind of this. I feel like I'm blessed because like my life has been like kind of in the reverse. Like as people get older, they get more stubborn in their ways. As I get older, my ways become more unraveled, and my mind becomes more open, and I'm willing to do and listen to different perspectives. And so, as I've like watched him, like I see what you see now, what you've always seen in Melo. I've always known he's a generational player. He just happens to play at a time with other generational talent that decided that they were going to team up and be generational talents together. And he never had a generational talent until that other talent was older and they didn't have everything else around them to be. When he got to Denver with AI, like I didn't have everything.
I bet my life that had the fucking Nuggets done for him what OKC did for KD, he'd have figured that shit out. Because he took that Laker team 100%. That went and got them Orlando right the fuck up out of here in like, I think they swept Orlando or got them out of here in 5, the Dwight Howard team. Yeah. He'd have fucked that Dwight Howard team up. Had they got him a Russell Westbrook and a James Harden, he'd have figured that shit out and he'd have never left.
Yeah.
But he had George Karl and a rotating cast of cats that could hoop, but just wasn't, he never had another star. He never had a number 2, let alone a big 3.
And that was the problem that that's the problem that I had. I grew up in like Southern Alabama playing in a lot of systems that didn't cater to actual talent. They wanted you to stop the ball and be, we won't even talk about it, but I saw
create open shots for the coach's son type shit.
Right. Dude, it's goofy as fuck. Fuck George Karl. All the organizations that had Melo and didn't do what they could have to build and mesh a team around them, fuck them. Like Melo, I'm gonna stand on as a man. All the comments I made in the past, dead ass wrong about you, man. Dead ass wrong about you. And I've seen that over the past 4 to 5 years of watching your career unfold, man, and actually getting into the history and seeing things as they've played out and getting into the backstory. Completely wrong about this man. And I'm glad that he is the person that you chose for as a topic of the second line today, man, because I'm now a huge fan. Like Bone has always been a huge fan. Zoe has always been a huge fan of Melo. And I just was like, man, he's overshoot, man. He was literally the only cat. Like he the only cat that can gonna go out there and get you 40 in a
square
game.
Business.
That's gonna go out there and win a game for you, man. So
I pay Bone to be. I pay Bone whatever he would want to just meet niggas who I was thinking about doing business with, because his judge of character impeccable.
It's impeccable. It's impeccable.
He I ain't even gonna expound on that, but like he mostly choose who he follow in sports by their character.
Yeah.
And it usually end up being somebody who a dynamic player. Exactly. Like that, I learned that very quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like getting to know him, that's how he chose his fandomships. Cause he had a partner who was in the league and he always told me that nigga couldn't hoop. And I ain't gonna say a name, but it Dynamite, that nigga.
Yeah, he understands sports a lot. Like he really understands this shit.
It ain't much that nigga don't understand. Fuck that nigga could.
That's true. That's true, man.
But yeah, man. Shouts out to Melo, man.
Shouts out to the sniper.
Shouts out to Hoodie Melo. Shouts out to Rucker Melo. Shouts out to Syracuse Melo. Shouts out to Dookie, thick ass cornrow, silly Melo. Hey, on God, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Because y'all ain't go play for the Nuggets, y'all don't have a throwback harder than Melo shit with the Rockies in that motherfucker. He got the hardest jersey of anybody who played in his era. Yeah. His New York jersey fresh as fuck too, cause them bitches just classic. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So on some hype beast shit, he got the hottest jersey on you, fuck nigga. That's Selma cold as fuck too. You know what I'm saying?
The way he stylized his name with that Melo and it's the 7, that shit too hard.
Bruh. Yeah, that nigga cold, man. Give me some second line. This has been us just loving on Melo, man. And we might do another one after he win the championship with Bron this year. Cause give me some second line is about giving people their roses while they here. And if you in a relationship, your paramour will tell you could never get enough roses. You feel what I'm saying?
Square bitty.
Can I give you some TV, man?
Let's get it.
Yeah, man. On August 29th, rainy Sunday night in the Gulf, Jake Paul decided to fist fight Tyrone Woodley. It was a boxing match, but it didn't seem very professional in the early goings. Did you give it a gander?
I tried to, man.
You tried. Exactly, man. In the first 2 rounds, Tyrone Woodley threw a total of about, I think, 14 punches. So for him to lose, just to give you guys the results, it was a split decision for Jake Paul. So he remains undefeated in his career. And I can't really say I'm mad at the decision from what I watched, man. What's your conclusion, man? Rightful winner, or you feel like do you want to see a rematch?
Unless he got knocked out, I felt like Jake Paul was going to win the fight. Simply because a lot of money is going into that kid.
These is independent judges they be bringing in, though, G.
Yeah, you can pay independent niggas too.
You can. They want to be brought back.
I would like to see a rematch. I think Tyrone Wood. I mean, obviously Tyrone Woodley is an incredible boxer, and I think he knocked him out. But I think a lot of cats go into these situations, man. It's like, you gonna give me a bag to go in here and fight the YouTube kid. I go in here and fight the YouTube kid. Take my money. Like, it's a like, whatever. I'm moving on. I got my money still.
From what I saw, it really felt like he saw it as a chance to steal some money.
Yeah,
it was a bag bigger than what he had been offered in his UFC career, and he had no fear of being hurt by Jake Paul. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't think he took it too seriously. And you could tell from how he carried himself, he just wanted to get it over. If there is a rematch, I hope he prepare like he going into a UFC fight.
Yeah.
But I throw it back to you on that tip. It's obvious Woodley didn't come in there ready for war.
Yeah. The situation provoked a thought for me. Can I share that thought with you and get your thoughts on it?
Please do.
Buddy's known as a YouTuber, correct? Yeah, he's a hobbyist when it comes to boxing. Like he boxes. I'm not saying like kid has a great physique, big kid, look like he can throw hands, good balance. Like he's not ass at all. But I'm looking at privilege when I see a kid who's a YouTuber get like legit boxing, like fighting against Tyrone Woodley and fighting against even Nate Robinson is a world-class athlete. Like he get a fight against him. And he's vastly larger than both these guys. But like to be a YouTuber and to be able to be a hobbyist, and because you have an audience in YouTube, people giving you a boxing career. Like I really hope that this show touches the airwaves and the ears of people who really realize that we fuck with this golf shit. And even though we rappers, we podcasters, I'm trying to be on this tour and I'm getting good enough at golf to where I want to make y'all get me on this tour. Then, if y'all gonna put this guy in boxing rings with legitimate talent, with
that's why I gotta cut y'all off. That's why I gotta cut y'all off and meet you there. You said give you my thoughts on it. Ain't nobody put him nowhere, bruh. He orchestrating this shit himself. He building the buzz around this shit himself. He promoting this shit himself. He out there, he out there putting and this the thing. Tyrone Woodley wasn't the only fighter on that card who was a professional who got paid more than they had ever been paid to fight. There were other fights on that undercard, and he took less money so that they could get paid more. So these niggas out here making power plays to create these positions. Everything else you said, I agree with, but ain't nobody did him no favors. They built that buzz just like they built their YouTube following with consistency and nonsense. Like, I feel like the first year of them being a thing was Jake being flabbergasted at Logan doing the splits. And that was all the fuck they did. He just did the splits different places. The next time I heard of these niggas, they were huge. Like, I was like, oh, that's the nigga who be doing the splits, ain't it? And like, he was so huge, he was being canceled for some shit he had did in Japan. And I ain't gonna run back through it, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
Okay, well, yeah, I ain't gonna run back through that. But like, I was like, the nigga that be doing the splits can be canceled? And they was like, bro, you don't know how much money them niggas getting? And I was like, I did some Googling, and I was like, oh, they up to some shit. And then the next time I hear about them, they fight niggas. And I'm like, what is these niggas gonna be on to next? But what I tell you is this. What I hope is that within the next 2-3 years, when I would say yes, they want some motherfucking smoke. Because either one of them could get it. I put on the motherfucking cow print trunks for GSH and step in there and knock him smooth the fuck out. And I promise you, I'm throwing way more than 14 punches in the first round. You hear what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
My jab game stupid, and I'm ambidextrous. You hear you talking about?
Like I did with Melo and said I was wrong. J. Paul, I was wrong, man. You putting this shit on by yourself, you doing your thing, G. I did not know
they brought him and his brother. They got their company. That's why they moved to like the Cayman Islands or wherever the fuck they live, because they don't get taxed at the same rate that they do here.
I didn't know.
You got to live there at least 8 to 10 months out of the year, some shit like that. Yeah, everything them niggas doing is some chess move shit. Nigga moved out the country so he could keep more of his money. Same reason Joe Rogan moved to like Arizona when he got ready to sign that $100 million contract. Because had he stayed his ass in California, he'd have kept about 52 of that shit. He moved his ass to like Arizona or Portland or wherever the fuck he moved to. That nigga kept like 82 of that home. But yeah, man. Shouts out to them niggas on making a power play. The fight was terrible, but the one thing, no, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as that Mayweather-Logan fight. I was excited for that silly shit. It was lots of fuckery, and they did a whole bunch of hugging. But what I like about it is I like watching motherfuckers fight. Period. In the story.
Right.
And he is getting people to fight who have either retired or who wouldn't be fighting. I wouldn't have got to see Nate Robinson fight a nigga without Jake Paul. You feel what I'm saying? So I appreciate them building a market for celebrity death match in real life. That's what I hope the end game of this shit is. I hope him and his brother is Vince McMahon, fucking, what's that bald-headed nigga from the UFC? Dana White.
Joe Rogan. Dana White.
He said not Joe Rogan.
Not Joe Rogan.
I watch way too much UFC to not know that man's name. I love fights, man. But
my lady first dates, man. She got me in the UFC. Like my lady,
you lying,
bruh. When our first dates, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and watched the fight.
Tell that story, man. The flow yours. Let me shut up.
Yeah. No,
who was fighting? Who was the main event?
I don't even remember, bro. Like, I was trying.
You were so captivated. Sucker.
I was trying to hit. I'm just playing. Not that I wasn't.
Lies.
That wasn't it.
Lies. We talked about that last episode. That ain't your game. You hadn't even drawn a portrait of it yet.
That's not my that is not my game, man.
That nigga P got to draw you a self-portrait before he tried to hit that thing.
Yeah.
I'll fucking with you. Left-handed ass.
No, man, we just went to, she was like, I asked her to go to somewhere else that night, and she was like, no, I'm planning to go with one of my best friends to watch the fight at Buffalo Wild Wings. I was like, okay. And she was like, well, you can come to that. I was like, all right, I'll come meet your friend. You know, whenever you meet a lady friends, that's, you know, a big deal. So I met one of her best friends from our hometown, and yeah, we sat there. I bought dinner and shit, and we sat there, watched the fight, man. Had a few drinks. Yeah.
Don't bring your friend on a first date with me. Not unless you got a boyfriend. Because until we date, I wouldn't feel no type of way about asking for her number and letting you know you could delete mine.
You wouldn't have wanted this friend.
No, I'm just talking about it in general.
Anything, but you wouldn't.
That's a different circumstance. She didn't bring her friend on the first date. She invited you to come out with her and her friend.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to see you rather than postpone y'all getting up together.
Right.
You were free, and she wasn't gonna let that opportunity be missed to get to know you. And that's some dope shit. I'm just on some petty shit. Talking about that stuff from last episode. Talking about, hey ladies, just so let me give you some TV real. Hey, you talking about? But just to jump back on Dana White neck with his bald headed ass. Now I'm talking shit. But for Jake Paul and Logan, man, I really want them to, through consistency and building a true hunger for this shit, because that's what a lot of people don't understand. This pay-per-view. So if people don't go purchase this shit, they won't be able to keep doing this. So people want to see the fight. So all the bitching that come on the back end, if it's 300 million Americans. For something to be wildly successful, 1 in every 300 motherfuckers got to fuck with it. And bow, it's platinum. So if you don't know 300 people, I don't care if nobody you know wanted to see this fight. It means nothing. But if you know 300 people and at least one motherfucker wanted to see it, shut up and let us enjoy this nonsense. Because I like to see motherfuckers fight, and boxing is one, and UFC, because it's refs and police and shit, and there are rules. It's the safest way to see something that I don't want to see on the street. I don't want to see the cell phone footage of a kid getting brutalized with nobody to stop him from being jumped and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want to see that shit. So thank you, Jake Paul, for giving me some safe fight night. It was, but it was a good ass time because it was me watching the fight. I've watched people fight and never throw a punch. Just, I'm like, man, slap that whole cut. Slap her, shawty. Slap her. And neither one fight. Bitch. And nobody ever throw a slap or nothing. And I'm like, man, somebody step in there. No, because they ain't gonna slap the shit out of me. I said, yeah. That's why I wanted you to step in there. They'll get tired and be done with this shit. You feel me? I sit and watch that for 2-3 minutes, a whole round of it. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I love that shit. But
oh, man.
I hope they get this shit to a celebrity deathmatch level, and then they like, yo, we just gonna take a percentage. Y'all will take the lion's share of the pay-per-view. We just gonna get our cut, and they keep it consistent because they doing so many of them. They able to get big name people in there. I'd like for all of this. I almost got canceled. I'd like for these cis ass rappers who be beefing. No. You get one diss track, and then you got to go to the Paul brothers and settle this shit. You get one diss track, and then you got to call the Pauls. You hear what the fuck I'm saying? Paul bearers. You heard me? Dead that shit. You get one diss track, and I don't want to hear no shit. I don't want you burying nobody. I don't want nobody dead.
Idea, man.
Take your ass to the Pauls.
You need to get that RSS going. We need to bring it to the rap game. You know that? You heard what Tyrone Woodley told him? Why you got on all them chains? How many rap videos you done seen? Don't let them come to our culture and take that up out of there on us. You know how much Because wasn't Chris Brown and Soulja supposed to fight or something like that?
I think they were. And for that comment, it was dope because it shut him up. But all I could really say to that is, as a motherfucker who make music, let's keep it 100. Without the Logan, the Jake Pauls of the world who love the fucking culture, only 13% of Americans would consume the shit. Eminem is really tricky because he just happens to be white. But make no mistake, for his numbers to eclipse everyone's at the mind-blowing rate that it does, it has something to do with his complexion appealing to 70% of the market.
Yeah.
70% of the market. You hear what the fuck I'm saying? It's how Elvis becomes the king of pop. You feel what the fuck I'm saying? 70% of the market. But that boy Eminem just so happened to deserve every fucking accolade he got. But he said it in bars, you know what I'm saying? Damn, jump into the bar. What'd he say? Fuck you, Timer. Damn, what'd he say? It's so eloquent. Damn, I don't want to fuck it up. I can only get pieces of it. And I'm dropping in on the part where he say, if I was black, I would have so half, but it doesn't change the fact that I got everyone kissing my ass. It's such a catastrophe to see. Fuck, I can't. It's the part before it where he describes himself. Like, that nigga cadence and syllabic structure ridiculous. Like, his penmanship, like, I still haven't heard something strung together that make me crazier than hearing him say, whatever happened to catching a good old-fashioned passionate ass whooping, getting your shoes coat and your hat tooken. That shit bring me, it make my head hurt. I love it so much. Whatever happened to catching a good old-fashioned passionate ass whooping, getting your shoes coat and your hat tooken. Ugh. Like, feel how you want to by Eminem, but that nigga, hey. It's a reason. It's a reason Jay only did one song with him. It's because of how he felt after he heard it.
Renegade. Yeah,
you hear what I'm saying? It's a reason he only did one song with that nigga. Boy, some motherfucker. He like, yeah, he not that nigga to play with.
I ain't no politician, but I kick it with him a minute. You should have covered your minutes, and if the shoe fits somewhere, but if it don't, y'all will swallow the true shit and bear it. Now, who's the kick? I was like, ugh.
Bruh,
might not want to do no more songs with this motherfucker, man. And he didn't.
Bruh. He did.
Mr. Kiss My Ass is just a man.
What the name of the show, cuz?
Give me some motherfucking headlines.
Yeah, I already knew it. Can I do that, G?
Let's go with it then.
All right, man. I had some heavy shit, so I threw a few turds in the punch bowl. You heard me? Video captures physical fight between high school teacher and student.
Yeah.
Gusty winds push cow door fire towards South Lake Tahoe. Blanket the area in smoke. ESPN pulls Rachel Nichols from NBA coverage, humiliates her on the way out. And Rajon Rondo plans to rejoin the Lakers with 1 year, $2.6 million deal.
Rondo coming back.
If you chew that story, he coming back.
I'm not. I'm going.
They brought the boy back. You go with Rachel Nichols?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
that nigga said Rondo back.
Quick
comment. Go ahead.
That chump ass nigga punching that little boy, man. That was some hoe shit. I just don't want to get no more airtime to it, but that was some hoe shit.
Oh, you read the article or you seen it online?
I saw it. Like, he was standing over that little man like he was a grown man, bro. And that was not okay. And I know how annoying 7th graders can be, but that he shouldn't have never been in that position. They did not vet that man.
My boy P spoke on it. ESPN pulls Rachel Nichols from NBA coverage, humiliates her on the way out. Trainer thoughts. And this story is from Sports Illustrated. And then there was none. A couple of months ago, ESPN had Rachel Nichols and Maria Taylor to anchor its NBA studio shows. Now, neither is a part of ESPN's coverage. Maria Taylor bolted Bristol for NBC right after the NBA Finals Wednesday. ESPN announced that it had canceled Nichols' daily afternoon show, The Jump, and that Nichols would no longer be a part of its NBA coverage. Throughout this saga, it's been hard to imagine how ESPN could have handled things any more poorly. And yesterday was icing on the cake. A reminder, ESPN knew a year ago about the comments Nichols made in her hotel room on a private phone call that were secretly recorded and distributed by another ESPN employee. It did nothing in terms of discipline, at least publicly. In July, the New York Times revealed that Nichols, I didn't start the time, I'm tripping. You on the clock, Nichols. In July, the New York Times revealed Nichols' comments just a couple of weeks before Taylor's contract with the ESPN was set to expire. I wish Maria Taylor all the success in the world. She covers football. She covers basketball. If you need to give her more things to do because you feeling pressure about your crappy long-time record on diversity, which, by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like, go for it. Just find it somewhere else. You're not going to find it from me or taking my thing away. I just want them to go somewhere else. It's in my contract, by the way. This job is in my contract in writing. And I ain't going to go through more of the thing because this person is just kind of complaining about how they did Rachel Nichols. And I'll just say this. When all of that stuff came out, as a person who TiVoed The Jump every day, I immediately took it off of my recording list. So I could only imagine what her ratings did after that because I was a daily recorded viewer. You feel what I'm saying? And yeah, if other people made moves like that, I'm sure that shit took a big hit. You feel what I'm saying? But I'll ask for your thoughts before I comment on it at all.
Initially, I thought, because I didn't know that there was a private conversation that was recorded by another ESPN employee. And I hate when private conversations become public. But if this is how you feel, and if these are the actions that you are, and that's how like we get systemic racism is by people having these private thoughts, but they are public with the administration or with the policy. And so if she is able to have these private thoughts and she puts them into application and they keep Maria Taylor from getting well-deserved attention and work, then that's why I see the problem at. Her having these private thoughts, I do have a problem with her private thoughts being made public. But I do too. Yeah, but I also have a problem with her feeling that way. And then if she took actions to keep Maria Taylor out of a position because she felt entitled, I have a bigger, way bigger problem with that shit. And she got what she fucking deserved. So yeah, man. Deuces to that chick. Because I used to be a fan, man. And it's crazy how I think the first person that I heard this from was Tyler, man. And he was like, you don't want to meet your heroes or some shit like that. It was something that happened like online where some cat had met Jordan or some shit like that, or some other celebrity. I'm pretty sure it was Jordan because Jordan got.
I think it's Chameleon now. Chameleon that meeting Jordan.
It was Chameleon that beating Jordan. That's what it was. It was Chameleon that beating Jordan. He was like, man, that dude was a.
He had just paid like $250,000 for his jersey at an auction or something like that.
And Jordan was addicted to that man. Like Jordan was addicted to him. And it's like I pray, like I don't know if I have any fans. I do know I have people that like me. And I think I know most of them. But once we are more publicized and like have a larger audience, I never want to, because like you are where you are because people pay attention to you. Like even if you Michael Jordan, like you be dribbling that ball and just being extraordinary at what you do. If nobody was watching, it wouldn't matter. And so you don't have to give your privacy away, but you do owe people like a certain respect as long as they don't overstep their boundaries with how they consume what you give them. And, you know, like as long as it ain't no shit like Malice at the Palace where people throwing beers and shit at you, like sit there and enjoy. Like I'm here to entertain you. Like you should be thanking me that I'm here to share my talent with you. Like, and like Joy, it's definitely a give and take. I'm the talent side, you're the audience side, man. And there should be a mutual respect that meets in the middle of, man, I'm here, I'm paying because you have an immense amount of talent. And then I'm being paid for my talent. So I'm going to deliver the best show that I possibly can. And that's in whatever arena. Yeah, man. I don't know why I went on that fucking tangent.
But yeah, if I could tap in and speak toward Rachel Nichols as a person who, like, I ain't even gonna cap. I'm gonna just put my cards on the table, stand here butt naked for a second. As a person who refuses to talk to a shrink because I can't afford to have this shit on record. Like, I'm that type of crazy. None of my conversations can get out. That's not right here. You feel what I'm saying? None of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a human being who respects his privacy, as somebody who calls you every once in a blue and say, bro, I just need to get these cancerous thoughts out, bro. I need to say this shit. So I stopped thinking it. I just got some cancer on my heart, bro. And I pray the equal and opposite is not you feeling his energy, but I got to get that poison off of my soul. Is that something you think you could deal with? And some days you be like, nah, hell no, not today, G. And every now and again you be like, bro, go ahead, do your thing, man. I'm doing some reading and some shit. So yeah, I could be a sounding board. I ain't gonna absorb that shit, but go ahead and get it off your chest. You feel me? But like, think of some of them conversations, bro.
If we having a meeting or something, and
fuck
it go
being on the air,
I'll start recording. I'll be like, oh, we going down this road.
Hey, square business.
Record.
Like, bruh, lunatic. So as a nigga who can't afford for none of his conversation to get out, fuck that whole shit. You feel me? And I stopped TiVoing the show after that. But to be real, I didn't watch The Jump. Never watched The Jump. I TiVoed it just because I fuck with Rachel Nichols. On God. TiVoed it for years. Because I fuck with Rachel Nichols. I stopped TiVoing it because I was like, ooh, I don't fuck with that. I know about it. I live in a world where I know about it now. So as a person who do not support that, judging people for their private conversations, or maybe she finds this out and it pisses her off. And it's like, oh, this is some old fuckery. And she's talking to people she feel like she can vent to. And then she left that conversation, took a deep breath, and was like, this is going to be good for me. And moved on and went to doing her shit. Kept the jump popping and kept doing her NBA shit. Yeah. And then a year later, after she's settled with the decision, she feels confident in her position and her stake in the company, and she's ready to do the finals. You gonna kneecap her? I found out, bitched about it a year ago, moved the fuck on. I'm ready to go. And now y'all gonna counsel me? Fuck y'all.
Yeah, that's some whole shit. That's some whole shit.
So for how you felt about it, I'm with you 110%. For the repercussions of bitching in a private conversation, I don't support none of that fuck shit.
Nah. No.
But how you feel about it? I support how you feel about it.
I don't.
That's my biggest point. That's my next fucking point. If an NBA owner can lose his team cause his side bitch record a private conversation, how can we trip that ESPN disconnect connection from Rachel Nichols after a private conversation?
Yeah.
She didn't get a $2 billion buyout though. He got a $2 billion farewell from Steve Ballmer. You feel me? But yeah, I ain't about punishing people for private conversations. As a person who literally is paid to speak on camera, how fucking dare you fire her or disconnect with her for some shit she said that was recorded without her knowledge? When she represents your company, when she stands for you, when she stands for the NBA, she's been nothing but exemplary.
Yeah.
And her being that consistent, her building the jump from fucking nothing and it becoming a staple is birthed from that professionalism and that consistency. To say what you do when you get off work mean you can't come to work, I am a person who could never be behind that shit because of how I live. I'm an empathy first person. Sympathy, you do it from a distance, it's third party. Empathy, you put yourself in the person's shoes.
Yeah.
And couldn't be me. Because I'd be fired too. For a whole host of stupid ass reasons.
And that's the thing, like you have to, and that's what I realized, is like, you got to get stuff out. Like you got to get stuff out. If you thinking it, and that's she's being punished for being human. Because we've all literally every fucking body. I don't give a damn who you is. Like I'm sure Mother Teresa thought some crazy shit and was like speaking to mothers in the church and was like, "Man, this
you gonna put Mother Teresa in this shit?"
Sister Agnes over here. I really can't stand that bitch. But and she was like, "Oh, I shouldn't have said that about Sister Agnes. Like, she just doing her best." And if Sister Augustine had recorded that shit and send it up the ladder, you know what I mean? Does the whole world now think Mother Teresa's a complete asshole? Now Gandhi was a different bitch. He was a punk ass motherfucker, racist as all get out. But that's a different story.
Yeah, fuck Gandhi.
The thing is, man, fuck Gandhi.
Fuck boy.
But it's
hey, with them. I was about to do an accent. I was about to get canceled. What if he said he went on his first hunger strike because his wife couldn't cook or some shit like that, and that got out? I wasn't missing much, y'all. Y'all don't understand. What if that nigga told that wife he wasn't eating, but he was sneaking in the garage and eating? What if that conversation got out?
He was that Russ meme. Well, Russ on the bench. Please put Gandhi head on the Russ meme. First hunger strike. My wife could cook. That nigga Gandhi is the Russ meme. That first hunger strike was some bullshit. They was, look at this strong man. Like that nigga was eating poison.
That might be the name of the episode. Gandhi head on the Russ meme. He put head in all the titles. That's some funny shit, right, but
put Gandhi head on the Russ meme. We here now. We not going back. Look at us.
Man, hey, you got that email handy?
Oh shit.
I do have it. Just did it.
Fucking room.
Yeah, man.
God damn.
We about to transition into a segment we like to call Gimme Some Questions at gmail.com. Again, that is Gimme Some Questions at gmail.com. And anything you saying probably get through right now, cause you know what I'm saying? We got a lot of time, man. We popping shit, you feel me? And we'll just make the show long as fuck. If we got a tight segment, we'll raffle them hoes off. But we had a few requests that kind of centered around the same area of things. And we centered on going through a brief history of the topic leading into what we got in the email. And that's GIMME GIMMESOME questions@gmail.com. Give me some questions. Hit them, people.
Do that again.
Again, that is what? No, it's not.
You're right. It is not. You are correct.
It is G.
You got it.
All right. We want to get that audio clean. It is give me some questions at gmail.com. That's GIMMESOME questions at gmail.com. Fuck with us. I'm going to put it up on the screen. Settle all the confusion.
Yeah. We got this from a close personal friend of the show. And the subject line is Drake versus Kanye. The email goes
free plug. Can I give a free plug?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. To anybody checking out the show, man, if you want some Southern tunes, man, some real Southern drawl over some bass lines and rhythms that take you through a journey through the Gulf Coast, man. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf. I can't even talk. Welcome to the Gulf Coast by Dusty DeLuna on all your streaming platform. That shit cold, man. I want to cop me a copy because I actually fuck with the people I fuck with, you know what I mean? But go screen that hoe, and if you feel inspired, go ahead and go copy you a copy of that bitch, man, so you can download it, do all your shit with it offline, you feel?
Yeah. So the email goes as,
hold up, before you jump into the email, shout out your track real quick, Nick.
Oh,
be like, man, I'm featured on that bitch, man. Yeah, you is, man. Baldwin County Blues.
Baldwin County Blues, man. Check us out on all streaming platforms, Spotify. Oh, man.
Dusty DeLuna featuring P. Henry Trotter the Fourth, Baldwin County Blues. Spin that record, go back to the intro, spin that whole bitch, and then spin it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stream it.
Let it ride, man. Stream that
Baldwin County Blues, what you talking about? Nigga, you ain't gonna shout yourself out? You like, I'm on that album, cuz. Give me some questions, cuz.
Yeah. So subject line is Drake versus Kanye. Our dog Dusty writes, it seems kind of corny to talk about because I'm all about making things safe and sacred for artists, but I can't help but watching the Kanye versus Drake situation and laugh. They're both hugely successful artists that you have to tip your cap to, which makes me wonder why Kanye is even still promoting the issue. Anyways, Rick Ross kind of spilled the beans today that Drake may actually be breaking free from Cash Money, which is why he hasn't dropped his album. It's ironic because Kanye has obviously been waiting to drop his album the same day as Drake, whether it's a way of trolling Drake or a smart business move, in parentheses, possibly both. It's crazy to me that Kanye would be so hung up on Drake. The dude rented out the Benz Stadium for an album release party and didn't release it. And then he sent a link to an animation, a dope animation on YouTube, and I'll put that in the show notes. But he said he wants to know our thoughts on this. He can't wait to hear the cow moo. Rock on. Dusty, man, appreciate you for thinking about us, man, when you're having these thoughts about music and square business. This has been one of my favorite things to do since we started this show, man, because we've gotten to do some investigative reporting on a subject, which is music that we really care about, and two artists that obviously we've heard a lot from over the course of our career being artists. And you just not plugged in if you don't know who the hell Kanye West and Drake are. Aubrey Graham. So we have a timeline of when, things started to happen between these guys. And I'll let my dog start off with the timeline because he asked me about the timeline earlier, and I gave him a completely different event that was correlated to something that happened in the past, but is not directly aligned with this situation. So I'll let my dog kick off on that timeline of things we have to talk about between all things Drake and Kanye.
Yeah, man, I got an aggregate joint I'm going to run through from a nice little NME blog, you know what I mean? But yeah, this shit date all the way back to a crazy timeline. You feel what I'm saying? Like in 2009, they was going back and forth online and stuff. On his old blog, Kanye shouted out Drake for the line "And every girl, do you like girls like I do? Let's be honest. Best line of the year so far," he wrote. Days later, Drake returned the favor in an interview. He credited the Chicago rapper for shaping a lot of what I do as far as music goes. He continued, "Before I met him, I had the utmost respect for Kanye West. I'd even go as far to say he was the most influential person as far as musician that I'd ever met in my life, that I'd ever had in my life till I met him." And 2 months after Ye broke up with Amber Rose, Drake was seen out with her, creating speculation and shit like that. Drake recorded a verse for All of the Lights that Kanye never used, you know what I'm saying? Giving him the runaround and shit. January 2011, while speaking to Tim Westwood, Drake took a not so subtle crack at Ye and Jay-Z's plan to release a joint album. He said, "I heard some other guys are coming out with an album too." He said while discussing his plans to do a collaborative record with Lil Wayne, "There's 2 other rappers that are coming out with an album together. I don't know where they got that idea from." So this date back over a decade, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna keep going. I ain't gonna keep going through all the different little plot points, but this has been teetering for a while, and Drake has been leaning on sliding on his paramours to frustrate him. And most recently, he didn't wait until he had broken it off. So it's been interesting, man. You had the Checks Over Stripes shot on sicko mode with the Kanye longtime collaborator, Travis Scott, man. So Drake been taking shots for a minute. And Drake heavily credits Ye with being the source of information that gave Pusha T a lot of the ammunition to take shots at Drake about his son. And that was kind of like the straw that broke the camel back for Drake, because he had still been working with him and trying to sort through all the bullshit, through all of this stuff, because we've gotten a lot of Drake and Kanye collabs through different collaborative means in this decade of time. They haven't not been working together. They've just been squabbling the whole time, but it's kind of reached the head. And Dusty DeLuna gave us a question about this most recent fucking dust up. I don't even know if you want to call it that. I think this shit coming to a head, man, for Drake to have just won Artist of the Decade and Kanye to be one of the artists of our time. How do you feel about them squabbling and bringing it to their personal life and it not being a professional beef, it being a personal beef based off of, like, they have so much professional respect for each other and are conflicting because they don't like each other as people. You know what I'm saying? And using the product to battle and shit. That's I find that to be a wildly interesting tilt to this whole thing, to not like each other as people and be using your profession as opposed to it being some professional beef shit that spilled over. But I guess all of beef kind of is, I don't like a nigga as a person. But I don't know, man. I throw it to you, man. This shit confusing.
So the big question that I wrote down in doing like this, and also shout out Dusty DeLuna for giving this to us, man, because this is the industry that we in. Like, we want to spend our time. Like, part of the reason we started this platform is to create a platform where we could talk about music, where we could talk about writing, where we could talk about art, which is centered around music for us. And Dusty like kind of brought us not back to it, because we talk about it here and there, but like in this kind of, like I said, investigative reporting, like it took me a little bit deeper into it, and it made me think about the genre and how it fits into the puzzle piece. Like, it's the most revenue generating, profit generating genre currently in the world. And the question that it led me to is, we know that rap kind of blossomed from that battle rapping, coming from that struggle. Most of the artists coming from a struggle, whether it's the streets or their own mind or what have you, and talking about that struggle out loud, and it being it's a very combative genre, and it pits one person against another a lot of the times. Like, we are the only genre who has as a multitude this many back and forths between its artists. But then it's also a genre where we've gotten some of the greatest collaborations of all time. Like you talked about some of the Drake Kanye collaborations. Kanye said at, I think, OVO Fest that the reason him and Jay recorded, he's like, we don't even get Watch the Throne had not Drake been on their necks and been putting pressure on them. He's like, well, we had to get together and we had to do something because he was on our necks and he was taking over the game. So Jay and I, Hove and I had to get together and make Watch the Throne. So you never get that album without Drake. And so it's responsible for so many different collaborations. And I take that on and I pose a question back to you. Which is more important to hip hop rap? The competition or the collaboration? Like, what makes it great? Or which side of it makes it greater?
For my taste, the collaboration. I don't like rap beef.
Yeah.
I've only heard about two.
I didn't think we were standing on the same side with this shit.
I've only heard about 2 or 3 good diss tracks that were audibly good rap songs. That back to back by Drake. That I ain't even gonna say the name of the Tupac one about old dude where it started off. That's why, yo, you mother, that one. And I'm trying to think of another one. Oh, that whole mixtape that T.I. made about Lil Flip. Oh, that shit was smacking. That whole mixtape. Like he fucked Lil Flip up on that In the Streets. I think it was In the Streets Part 3. T.I. was on one. But them the only diss tracks I've ever heard that were audibly good fucking songs. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get Gucci got a bunch on. But he don't even be making diss tracks. He'll just shoot a few shots and he done. He snipe a nigga. Cause he said what the fuck he said and he meant it. But yeah, though, I hate rap beef. That shit lame and fuck to me, bro. Cause
it's the worst shit.
To be two grown ass men usually, cause women don't beef too often. To be two grown ass men, have a conflict in real life and go write poetry about each other, stupid to me. It's wildly fucking ridiculous, especially tough guy poetry.
I'm reading the timeline of this shit, I'm like, this shit petty as fuck. What is going on here? It was back and forth, like, he drops this line about this guy, and he drops this line about this guy. He writes this song about this guy. It's like, what the fuck? Like you said earlier, man, you get one song apiece. Now we fighting about this shit, and let's move the fuck on.
Think about how unique of an album Collie Grove is. Where 2 Chainz had his love letter, this beautiful piece of art to Lil Wayne, and do this collaborative thing with him to hit OG. You feel what I'm saying? That shit's special. Just like Taheed, you feel me? Just like 2 Chainz, Titty Boy, Titty 2 Necklaces, The God. That shit's special, and that shit stand alone as some unique shit that has never been done and hasn't been duplicated. I wish somebody would jump on their dick and jock his style. I wish this nigga Jack Boy would have made a fucking I can't figure out how to combine Broward and Miami and Haiti together as one word, but I wish he'd have made that type of album for Kodak Black instead of saying, I think I'm the biggest Haitian artist in the... Write a love letter to Kodak Black. You feel what I'm saying? Fuck all that beef shit. You feel that? For what? You know what I'm saying?
For what? For what?
Like,
the only thing that happened from that shit is we lose artists that we would be getting 100% from, and they will be raising their fucking kids, and like you start more shit within the fucking industry that ends up with us losing more artists and more niggas not working with each other because one was on one side, one was on this side, and
I don't care.
Stance. Like I
don't care what type of accolade a nigga throw my way once we get really moving with this shit. And you know what I think of myself when it comes to this music shit. I don't care what kind of shit get thrown my way. If a nigga throw some salt my way, I'm going to send him a beat. You and your feelings, go right about it. If you want to make a diss track on that beat, do your thing. That's what I got to say about it. This instrumental I sent your punk ass. I don't care who it is.
Yeah, man.
We could do a compilation album. We say, oh, that's the best compilation I ever heard. So then the Shop Boys come out and they mad. I'm going to send them a rock and roll hip hop beat. Be like, go ahead and come back on these nigga, cuz. Do some new shit. I ain't got beef with nobody, bro. I don't give a fuck about none of that dumb ass shit. We do a twerking song. Oh, that's the best twerking song that ever came out of da-da-da. Nigga want to come out beef and fuck that shit. I produce 4-5 tracks, get Kilo Ali, get some old Atlanta legends, sitting in 9 boys. I throw a booty mix out there. I'm gonna respond with some art. I ain't got no beef. Like, fuck that bullshit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love their music too much to spend time on that dumb shit.
Yeah. And that's the thing, man. I just feel like the beef side of it, we lose so much because of, I feel like.
Can I speak to what you just said before you get deep into it?
Yeah.
How dare Young Jeezy and Gucci Man rob us of what we done got? Listen to So Icy. We got robbed of a decade of them working together in they fucking prime. Atlanta would have took over the world had them niggas kept working together. I mean, we kind of did anyway, but
it wouldn't even be fucking
God
close.
Damn, we should have an hour and a half. We should have an hour and a half of Gucci and Jeezy features.
New York they wouldn't have anything left to fucking say. Like, y'all got it now. We originated this shit, y'all got it. And Atlanta got it. It's still not close.
Imagine Gucci Man on that song that he did with Plies. Imagine Gucci Man leaned up Gucci on Wasted. Imagine the verse he'd have put on that shit, bruh.
Yeah.
You can leave Plies on it, but what I'm saying is we got robbed of them collaborations, bro. We should have at least 90 minutes of Gucci and Jeezy music, bro. At least.
Yeah.
And we got 3.5 fucking minutes of heat and a 20-year fucking beef. And people buried over this shit.
They gave us, and people buried over some shit.
What do I think more important? The collaboration, nigga.
Collaboration. And I think that the collaboration side.
Like, imagine if Big Crit broke up with his sub and we only got one my sub. But Big Crit would never do that to us. I'd be devastated, bro. The Ballad of the Bass, I need every single one of them. I hope he never stop. I hope I get my sub. I talking to my nigga about it. He need to do a my sub for every Fast and Furious. If they give us 10, we need 10 my subs, nigga.
We need 10 my subs.
Point blank period, Big Crit. You heard it here first, nigga. Crit was here, Crit was there, Crit was everywhere. I need at least 10 my subs, nigga. Fuck you talking about. Don't stop.
With my trunk, had a lot of what it. Oh, when it jump, like, boy, don't you ever stop.
Boy, don't you ever.
Why don't you ever stop?
I stand on the porch with the screen door open. Ma, he at it again.
Like,
basing with that.
Me to tears even think about them shits, bro. First time I heard my sub.
Imagine if he broke up with his sub, cuz.
Put that on my sub. Like, man. Imagine if Crit ever beef with the sub. And then collaborate with the sub. Fuck. We be fucked as a society. We would be fucked.
Tweeters will never be the same, cuz.
Yeah, but on this Kanye, because they've been in that timeline, I learned something that I never fucking knew before, is that they had been talking about doing a collaboration album. Like when he was doing, I think, Life of Pablo, and then when Drake was doing Views, like they was talking about doing an actual album together when he hinted it first. Kanye hinted it first at they were
5 tracks in when the Pusha T beef hit.
Yeah. So that was 2018. So, and like, look who lose from that shit, bro. Like, look who losing from that shit. Like, oh, and I don't understand why people love this back and forth, like Twitter fingers shit, man, because like what the fuck do we get out of it besides like somebody standing on one side, somebody standing on the other saying, oh, this catalog is better. Like the best part about this shit is settle that shit on the track. Settle that shit on the track. Get on the fucking album together. And then write the best verses. Not about each other. Just write verses.
Bruh.
Like we got what's the joint with
they so fucking good at this shit.
Drake and Future. What was that joint we got? The first joint. The diamond had diamonds dancing on it. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, that's it.
What a time to be alive. That's when I learned this nigga Future better than this nigga Drake at this shit.
At what they did, yeah. But if they took a year to make that album, Drake would have put way better verses on that shit.
Yeah.
But I took that album for what it was, and I appreciated them giving me that art. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Future, they did that album the way Future made music, and then released the best of what they did. Future make music like that non-stop and then give us the cream of the crop. You feel what I'm saying? So he have 120 songs and then give us 40 in a year, and them bitches be smashing, yeah.
That's how I feel like he came up with that run he did, man, with Beast Mode, Monster, and 56 Nights. It's like he had a whole bunch of shit and he just put the right shit together. Like all these songs was just in the fucking vault, and he put. Well, I guess 56 Nights came from him being in prison overseas. But
that shit, we got Monster because Esco had all the hard drives with him when he got locked up, and when Esco got released, he gave us 56 Nights. And that was the shit that was on the hard drive. But Beast Mode and Monster was him just going ham. Like he hooked up with Zay Ticket, just did a whole tape. You feel what I'm saying? Like he was just going hard. Okay. And I'm pretty sure, I ain't 100% on that. But what the name of the show, cuz? What the name of the show?
Give me some headlines.
Can I give you some headlines, cuz?
Come on with it.
That wraps up our Drake Kanye beat. Why? Ida strikes Gulf Coast as dangerous Category 4 hurricane. There is no room to put these bodies. Alabama health official says COVID-19 deaths climb. U.S. starts truth with I can't talk today. U.S. starts troop withdrawal from Kabul. Hits Islamic State with drone attack. Deshaun Watson trade rumors. Texans prepared to have QB inactive every week. Damn. Steelers wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster does risky TikTok challenge and fans react accordingly. He also got purple hair in the picture for the audible listener.
Man. I do want to talk about home a little bit. Do the first three again. I'm not choosing Juju. Hurricane Ida was the first one.
Hurricane Ida strikes Gulf Coast as dangerous Category 4 hurricane. There is no room to put these bodies, quote, from Alabama health official says COVID-19 deaths climb. The U.S. starts troop withdrawal from Kabul, hits Islamic State with drone attack. That was the first three. And then the fourth one was Deshaun Watson trade rumors.
Also. Let's talk about where we from, man. Let's talk about the third coast and Hurricane Ida.
Ida strikes Gulf Coast, and this story is from AccuWeather. Yeah, we be getting headlines from everywhere, cuz. Give me some headline, we give you some. You hear what I'm talking about? Ida strikes Gulf Coast as dangerous Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane Ida's initial impacts began early Sunday as the outer bands brought heavy rain to the Louisiana coast early Sunday. The Category 4 hurricane, packing sustained winds of 150 miles per hour, came ashore at 11:55 a.m. CDT near Port Fourchon, Louisiana. Ida has become the first landfalling hurricane on United States soil in 2021, and it hit the shore, I think, down to the day. I think, is it, how long ago was Katrina?
2005.
2005?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So yeah, 16 years to the date after Katrina is when it touched landfall. On Saturday afternoon, that wasn't in the article, it's just us remembering. On Saturday afternoon, Ida began to rapidly intensify over the Gulf Coast with winds, welcome to the Gulf Coast, Dusty DeLuna, with wind speeds increasing from 85 miles per hour to 105, making the storm a Category 2 hurricane on landfall on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale early on Sunday morning. Ida strengthened into a major Category 3 hurricane, then quickly became Category 4, packing 150 miles per hour sustained winds at its peak on Sunday. It's now been downgraded to a tropical storm. Is the conclusion of how it goes through the rest of it. And I ain't really going to go through the Doppler radar screenshots and everything, but it's subsided, but it hit landfall, picked up speed, and then de-intensified as it got out of Louisiana, almost as if somebody turned up the fucking volume on the shit. You feel what I'm saying? What are your thoughts, bro?
It's somebody who's lived through countless of these and it was named after a hurricane.
Learn something new every day, people.
Yeah, I was named after Hurricane Frederick. That's how my parents came up with my name. They was deciding between my name and my brother's name. They was gonna name their first. My name was going to be my brother's name, and then they was gonna name my brother something else.
I see what you mean. Because you were born first.
Yeah, I was born. Yeah. I wasn't going to be, I'm a junior, and I wasn't going to be a junior. My dad's name is Frederick. But when Hurricane Frederick hit in 85, before I was conceived, they decided, well, we're going to name him. They thought that was a sign of for some fucking reason.
I mean, you did destroy shit for a little while, man. You was reckless.
Yeah.
Indestructible.
I thought I was
Category 3P. What you said?
Man, that's another moniker. Hold up, let me write that down.
Yeah, I said it off a whim, but I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, we had to deal with Lake Charles last year. Had to deal with all these damn storms. New Orleans is really only just now recovering from Katrina. Like they only been back for a couple of years, and still some places are not the same as they were before. So for another storm to come back through, yeah, man, these storms, they be working the Gulf Coast, from like the Houston area back towards Florida, down into Cuba, Haiti. Can't forget our brothers and sisters in Latin America. And then the surrounding areas. You learn so much about survival, man, when these storms come. Like my lady's like, hey, well, we were supposed to get some of the rain and stuff like before we knew where it went. So she sent me to the grocery store to get, food. Because we have an electric stove. We at our last place, we had a gas stove, which you can use gas during storms because, nothing's gonna knock out unless they come and rip the gas line. Like you can use your gas, can't use your electric when the power's knocked out. So we had to get food that, I bought 4 bags of ice, 4 big ass bags of ice, a bunch of canned fruit, canned vegetables, more charcoal. Forgot to get batteries and candles and shit, and learn some new tips that I hadn't used before. Like if hurricane come through, fill your washer up with ice. It'll keep drinks and water cold for days, and it'll just drain because it's used to having water in it. And so
you got coolers though.
Yeah, we do have coolers. Yeah. But that's a way that's if you buy a lot of ice.
One tip, man, get you a kerosene eye. They extremely cheap. They may be like $10 on Amazon, you know what I'm saying? And then you can get tanks from Walmart. The same thing people be using for their propane. I don't know why I said kerosene, but a propane eye. And it's just like it's a gas oven. It's just one idle. And then you can do whatever you need to. And you'll never need it unless you need it. You see what I'm saying? So don't use it. Right. Unless you go camping or some shit.
Yeah.
That's why I got familiar with them.
No, I definitely invest in one of those, yeah. But for a good portion of my life, man, we've been boarding up windows and shit whenever these storms and stuff come through, man. So my heart goes out to the Gulf Coast. As I started to accumulate resources, I'm definitely gonna find a way to make sure that, whenever the devastation does hit, we the ones who usually have to deal with the hurricane side. The East Coast has to seldomly, but they do have to deal with it. I remember Sally may have.
Let's make sure we put disaster resources at NEHQ, cuz.
Yeah. Just to make sure, that we can help people out whenever these things come, because like that's what you run into people not being able to evacuate home because they don't have the resources for it. You run into people not having what they need. Like I have the luxury of being able to cut Twitter off, but like I saw a lot of folks like, hey, like thankfully they have that outlet. Like, hey, we need help here at this address. In LaPlace, Louisiana, got hit pretty bad, like really fucking bad. Because I saw a lot of addresses in LaPlace, Louisiana, where folks are stuck in like attics, stuck on top of roofs. 8 people in a house, man, grandmama, babies, and shit. So it's hard, man. It's super hard when you
right
don't have the resources to evacuate, and then
Katrina hit. Katrina hit when I was in high school. And you know what I'm saying? For me to be like, look, that let y'all know, holy fuck, stupid nice with it. Getting better with age, fine, like, wah. But I almost said something wildly vulgar, but it's a thought I've had consistently, but it ain't for this platform. But yeah, though, and this is kind of a cold thought, but it was the first time in my life that I became aware that there were places in our country and in the world where we had built civilization below sea level. And I was like, why the fuck would you do that? And like, I was big into a lot of different things, but it led me on the study of like topography, and like in college, like when I had to take my sciences, I took geology and shit. Like I really got into rocks and learning like how the earth is constructed and shit. And the information I learned leads me to some of the beliefs that y'all niggas laugh at, but I don't feel like y'all understand the actual science of it. And if you did, you wouldn't believe the fairy tale of it. You feel what I'm saying? But said all that to say, it blows my mind that niggas is building civilizations below sea level and just dealing with catastrophes annually. Like, it being hurricane season. That shit terrifying to me, and I don't understand why you would do that. Miami has absolutely no land protection from the ocean. Just fucking none. It's just coast and then where people live, nigga. Buildings. Like, below sea level is crazy, but at sea level, right up on the motherfucking sea, that's wild as fuck too. Then you go look at Italy and some of these motherfuckers, that like some of these cities that's on water and shit, and I was like, yo, the earth wilding the fuck out. That's what like, I understand the devastation that they hit New Orleans, and you know what I'm saying, we had people come to the high school and stuff who had come to Atlanta, and I got a education and just compassionate human beings and shit, and just being an open ear because people talk to me, you know what I'm saying? It's something about me, motherfucker, just, boy, niggas have dumped their whole soul on me. But like talking to a lot of people and what they were going through and just listening, I understand the weight of Katrina and shit, but from a curiosity standpoint and the learner in me, it sent me on a crazy journey about learning about the earth around me. And I am never not shocked by that. Houston a little bit different because y'all so fucking far. Y'all just happen to be in a basin, so flooding become an issue. But being below sea level and close to the motherfucking ocean, I don't think I'd ever buy property that fit that description. Being born there and not leaving there, I understand and respect the hell out of that as somebody who's sitting in Decatur. But because I came back, but I be leaving this motherfucker. And I leave this motherfucker. I'm gonna leave this motherfucker again here soon, but I'll be back.
Yeah. That's yeah. Love home, man. And like it pains me that I do have a place to go when I'm at home, but I don't. It's not my roots are there. I just branch.
Oh man, we talking about this topic. I didn't even realize the album I had chose for this week.
Billy Ocean.
Suddenly, yeah, you talking about how they come in, bro.
Shout out to the book I chose this week also, Julie Dash, Daughters of the Dust. A classic if you've never read it before.
Oh damn, I skipped the hell out of topic, cuz.
You did.
Can I chop it up with you, cuz?
Let's chop it up, man.
Hold on. Hey, I called it. Hey, man, we had a few NFL preview episodes, man, when preseason kicked off, and we gonna ramp that back up, man. We got NCAA starting this weekend, so definitely expect some NCAA talk next week on Gimme Some Headlines. You know what I'm talking about? But my dog had a lot of shit to say about the QB battles, man, and I asked him for some predicciones, and a few of the QB battles in the NFL have been decided, and we like to just run back through some and see whether or not my dog was right, see whether or not they're gonna regret not going with who he thought would be the best quarterback for the situation. And for the people on the fence, get your ass off the fence here you talking about. Well, we gonna start down in the Gulf Coast at the crib where we talking about NO. Shouts out to the motherfucking Saints, my boy T. Here you talking about P.
Yeah.
You said they need to go with J Boo over Taysom Hill. Seem like Sean Payton agree. Where your head at, bro?
Man, he got it right. He understands the assignment, as the kids like to say. Taysom Hill, like I said in the last episode, I think it was either episode 19 or episode 18. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, I remember you did say that silly shit.
Taysom Hill is not that guy. Like, put him at tight end, let him be like an extra weapon, an extra blocker, extra pass catcher, throw in a couple wrinkles for him, let him throw some passes, like put in some gadget stuff in the playoffs for him because he can throw the ball a little bit, but put Jabu under center. Let that man throw for 5,000 yards this year. Let him throw for 43, 44 touchdowns this year. Let him. He probably gonna throw 10 interceptions, but that's because he a gunslinger and he got one of the best deep balls in the league, man. Like, he is.
You got 4 wins in the NFC South. You got 4 wins with J Boo at quarterback. You can tighten the Falcons and the motherfucking Panthers right the fuck up. Tighten them right up, cuz.
And
you're gonna have some problem with Tampa.
Split. Yeah, we just work on getting.
But if you put that gadget nigga at quarterback, it ain't nothing you can guarantee.
Yeah. So I think Sean Payton got it right. Unfortunately, Drew Brees still got us in cap hell, but that is what it is. But I think that the New Orleans Saints once
paying J Boo pennies.
We got some guys that are emerging. Like, he dealing with, he got Alvin Kamara in the backfield. Some cats are emerging at the position, at the wideout position. Slant Boy will be back, and I think J Boo is gonna have.
Can I speak on it?
He's gonna be the comeback player of the year.
Y'all can say what y'all want to about J. Boo. When J. Boo was in Tampa, them two wideouts was Pro Bowl wide receivers. You understand me? That man threw for 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. I said it before and I say it again. His interceptions increased by 150%. Nigga threw 20 the year before. He added 10 to it. Tom Brady threw 8 the year before he had Bruce Arians. He threw 12. Another 4. A less risk-averse quarterback still increased his interceptions by 150%. Now, you can say I'm playing with the numbers, but the season under Bruce Arians is the only season where Jameis Winston ever threw more than 20 interceptions. He just happened to throw 30. So that is not the quarterback he is. And that is not the offense that Sean Payton runs. Mm-hmm. So I'm very excited to see a quarterback who was a number 1 overall draft pick, Heisman quarterback, national championship level talent with a coach who took a reclamation project and made him into Drew Brees. You feel what I'm saying? Drew Brees was never considered that guy. They drafted Eli Manning to replace him. He refused to play for the Chargers, and they took Phillip Rivers and traded Drew Brees. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least it took the GOAT to unseat Jameis Winston. I'm very excited to see what the fuck Sean Payton could do with a number 1 overall pick. You feel what the fuck I'm saying, bro?
And the best arm.
This a toy Sean Payton ain't never had this shit.
Ball my man throw, like you see the deep
he
ball.
ain't never had a Jameis Winston, bro. Like that. And Jameis Winston ain't never been able to see until right now. He did all that shit I said without being able to see. He threw for 5,000 without being able to see. Both of his receivers were going to demand Amari Cooper type of money if he stay in Tampa. You feel what I'm saying? Because they both Pro Bowl wide receivers. He finna do some crazy shit if that boy number 12 get his ass to practice. You feel? You feel what I'm saying? But moving on to another QB battle that you spoke on, man. You were speaking on Cam Newton and Mac Jones. Bill Belichick say he still got a lot of things to sort through and a lot of questions to answer. What are your thoughts on that still being in the air? Who you think need to start week 1, man?
I think Cam is still going to start. I thought they'd already, until this whole COVID situation, I thought they'd already sorted through this shit. But I will say this about Mac Jones. I haven't seen any other rookie with as much poise in the pocket as I've seen this dude. Like, you can tell that he's been I thought most people think that quarterbacks that come from the Alabama system are system quarterbacks. But in recent years, starting with Jalen Hurts, like before, like you had AJ McCarron's, but Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, Mac Jones, like these are Alabama, because they in those AJ McCarron days, we really leaned on our running game, and the running game created opportunities in the pass game. Started being able to recruit quarterbacks that could actually heave that motherfucker down the field, and it started with Julio with our receivers, and we become receiver university with the Calvin Ridleys, with the Amari Coopers, with the Judys of the world, with the Devontae Smiths, with the Jalen Waddles. Like, we started to recruit some just next level talent at the skill positions that aren't just running back, with the Mark Ingrams, with the Trent Richardson, who didn't pan out have everybody thought he would at the next level.
He had a good career.
Henry, who's an MVP. Yeah. Like you said, anybody who make it to the league is great. You know what I mean? Like, they one of the best at what they do. And so
UGA running back you though. So fuck you on that running back shit.
I never said running back you. I did.
I'm just letting you know.
Receiver you.
Don't make me go through the running backs, boy. Cause we still in that thing, boy.
Very good at and defensive backs.
Gurley, Michelle, Chubb, Moreno. Go ahead.
Well, Gurley,
Herschel Walker. I go back. Fuck you, dog. Neither is the. Did you just say Trent Richardson, nigga? I can't say Gurley, but you can say Trent Richardson. You pulled Trent Richardson out your ass, and I can't say Ty Gurley. That nigga went into okay, but Pete Gang, I support all that foolishness you talking about.
But yeah, Cam will win that job. Cam winning that job.
Moving on to a love
I'd
triangle.
have picked him in way too much other shit.
Moving on to a love triangle, man. We both thought the Jaguars would be going with the rookie because it made sense to go ahead since he was number 1 overall. But I kind of trolled you a little bit when you were speaking on the Browns being good because I said Gardner Minshew is stat for stat. He's been the same quarterback that Baker Mayfield was, and he was the number 1 overall pick. Whee! So after giving the job to Trevor Lawrence, that boy Urban Meyer been making cutthroat moves, got Tebow out of here on the first cut. He got the incumbent quarterback, Swaggy G, got him right the fuck up out of here and traded that boy to the Eagles, which has now created the question of, do you go with the veteran or do you stick with the guy you traded away, your veteran who had an MVP level season the year y'all went to the Super Bowl before his injury? It's now Jalen Hurts versus Gardner Minshew because it was never really Jalen Hurts versus Joe Flacco, exactly like you fucking said. Yeah. And I said, if they don't start Jalen Hurts, fuck them as my NFC East pick. If they start Gardner Minshew, I'm not changing my pick and I keep credit if they win. But if they had started Flacco, I was out on them niggas. But what you think about this? Is this a battle or is it still Jalen's job?
Oh, no, I think it's still Jalen's job. I think they went and got Gardner Minshew because he is the quarterback that's available for a low enough price that you can keep a quarterback in the system because they run a quarterback a lot. So if he misses any time with a sprained ankle,
he can scoot too.
Exactly.
That boy live.
You can scoot. And so I feel like that's why you see, I forget who is Lamar's backup in Baltimore, but he's very similar to Lamar.
They still got RG3? No, that nigga took an analyst job, I think.
I think so.
Didn't he?
Yeah. I feel like they
need to go get Cap.
Yeah.
He old enough now to where
enough time has passed by to where like I feel wherever you put Cap, it's people going the flag. The flag. The troops. You gonna get that whole game. They finna come out. The troops.
Can I throw you a curve? You stupid. Can I throw you a curveball?
What is it?
You didn't pick the article about the Deshaun Watson trade talk, but if you had, you'd have heard that one of the teams rumored to be trying to get under Miami. Yeah, get under Miami for that bid is the Eagles. And in this trade, they'd have to include Jalen Hurts. And in this scenario, Gardner Minshew would be an insurance policy for Deshaun Watson potentially having to sit a year or a few games. In that case, how do you feel about them choosing that scenario over just building around Jalen Hurts? How do you feel about that?
I don't have a problem with it at all because I had a problem with Miami doing it because I believe Tua Tagovailoa is a franchise quarterback, and he is. Deshaun Watson is just different. He's a generational talent. And I understand why people are like, man, if we got a chance to go after him, if we
nigga said he was Michael Jordan of football.
Shot, yeah. If we have a remote shot at going after this guy, like we need to go. And I'm like, Miami, like, why are y'all doing this? And I'm like, man, with that defense, with the weapons that they put around him, like he'd be back with Will Fuller, he'd have Jalen Waddle, and like with that, he still he has more mobility than Tua. Like his scooting ability is a whole lot better. His escapability is pretty. I
don't want to see a nigga with knee issues have to play 8 games in a cold weather city.
Yeah,
I need him to stay below the Mason-Dixon for his health.
Yeah, and yeah, I would if anything, I want to see Deshaun go to Miami, and if that happens, I think they're crunching the numbers now, and Miami's
But see, the thing about that is,
I don't want to see.
I don't want to see a nigga who love massages and who dealing with what he dealing with to go to a city where bitches is trying to get niggas because he is gettable. Yeah. He is gettable. You feel what I'm saying? He don't need to go to the city of the dirty.
It's 4 cities I look at when it comes to that, and all of them are 3 of them are below the Mason-Dixon line. 1 of them's out west.
Hit me with them.
You got 1, you sitting in it, Atlanta. Or you sitting right outside of it, Atlanta. 2, I'm sitting in that city, Houston, Texas. 3, Miami, Florida. 4, Las Vegas, Nevada. Not places where you want, and he going from one city to another one of those cities, and it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough because I've been to all 4 of them cities and sat in establishments in all 4 of them cities, and I've now been in establishments in other cities, and those 4 are by far, in a way, the 4.
Why? I went to an establishment in Tennessee and wanted my money back.
My money back. Nashville, Tennessee. I went. No,
they was in there. It was only topless, and they was dancing the rock and roll in that motherfucker. Yeah. I came in that bitch, and I swear to God, I thought I was in Armageddon. I heard "She's my cherry pie." I said, "No fucking way, boy, you fucking lying." Ain't no. But I looked around. I said, "Nigga, every booth is open, and they didn't cost the city in." Like, that shit was the weakest strip club. And I ain't saying I wanted to be taxed, but god damn, that bit was dry.
Yeah.
And like the table dance was a real table dance. The bitch got on the table. Like, my bad, I don't want to call the women bitches. But she got on the table and was like standing up there. And I was like, this ain't how they do it in the hood. Like, this ain't what I grew up on. And it was like $30 for the table dance.
Y'all offshoots in the A, like, that's the thing about being in Houston and going to the A. It's like the offshoots be jumping. If you ain't never been to Roosters, if you ain't never been to Pin-Ups, like them, the offshoots.
It's a shooting at that bit. They just changed the name of it. Roosters had like 5 names. That bit had a shower in it. That's how you knew you was at Roosters. Yeah. Roosters out on Buford. Yeah. Small butt off the chain. Oh, Titty Boy Thursday. We used to go out there religiously. Like,
but it's hella spots.
We hit a few different spots, but Thursdays we'd always be at Roosters, bro.
Restaurants.
I remember they had that one stripper named School Teacher, bro. That shit was so fucking fun. Like, we was at that bit so often, nigga knew us, bro. We come through, they knew our order and everything, nigga. We had our little section. Man, we was in that bit cool, and we used to be in that bit ganged up. Hey, I ain't starting no clock on this.
Shout out to legends out here, man. That's one of my offshoots I'll be at. Used to be.
Yeah. Is that the brunch spot? Is that the brunch spot?
That's men's club. That's not even like, I go there because they got a great, you spend $10 all you can eat, and it's great food. And then they charge you $1 for beers. Like, the titties is just the cherry on top. Like, I'm not even there. I'm there for
we be in that bitch. Smacked up, bro. I swear. Then go hit the driving range. Them be some good ass afternoons, bro.
$20, your stomach full, and you smack, and you ain't even paid for a dance. You tipping women just because, like, you walking by with your titties out. Like,
that shit like the grown man CC pizza, man. All you can eat, man.
Oh man, we didn't even start this segment talking about Deshaun Watson. You see what you done?
It's his fault, bro. I blame Deshaun.
We were talking about quarterback battles. Hey, oh
man,
pistachios are life, bro. Also,
are you fucking with them stashes, man?
Hell yeah, man.
I mean, cookies and Pringles, man.
Roasted jalapeno.
Soft cookies or hard cookies, bro? What you prefer?
Ooh. You know me, I'm always a man in the middle. I like crispy edges, but the soft middle. And I don't know how you make that happen, But like I like to bite into that first bite of the cookie on the edge. It's a little bit of a crisp to it, but then it's gooey and warm. Oh man, that's my shit.
Butter the pan, bro. That's how you get that crispy edge with the soft middle.
Yeah.
People be using non-stick paper, but butter that hold.
Yeah, them joints be. And I don't do a lot of bacon. I need to do more bacon because I do sweet potato pies. Sweet potato pies is like the thing that I do. For my birthday, the lady got me a red velvet cheesecake. So those are my two favorite cakes together. That thing was crazy.
I seen the pictures of that shit. I told Shaw to email me some of that cake. She was like, what? I was just saying, send some of that shit through the mail.
She pulled that thing about the garage fridge. She was trying to hide that. I seen it in there, and I didn't even expect. She asked them folks what they had. She told me about the story of like when she went to go pick it up, man. Red velvet cheesecake, bro. If I get anything other than that for the rest of my life, I'm going to be pissed. I'm taking one every year.
You share any of it?
I did, man.
Thin slices?
Bone? No. Him and my homie Brown, man, they was at the crib. Like, they came. Bone was supposed to leave. He sent his lady home in an Uber, and he kept the car. He's like, yeah, my dogs is here. It was me, my homie Brown, and Bone was like, I'm staying. And so we all stayed. We drank more. And I made way too much food. Like, we ate 20% of the food at the party. 80% of the food I had through the rest of the week. So they ate like 3 times. I mean, we sat around like the kitchen table, ate again, and then they left and they was like, hey man. I think they was like waiting around like to get up the nerve because I talked about that cake for so much that they was like, hey, can we get some of that cake, bro? So I ended up giving like, it was half of it by the time we got to like the end of the day. And then I gave them a quarter of it and I kept a quarter of it. So they split a quarter of it between them two. And then I kept the last quarter of it. So yeah, I did share it. I never share again though. Or you're going to give me 2 cakes. Or I just, whenever you get that cake, like I know what cake I'm getting now. Like it ain't even a surprise now. Like we at that point. It ain't even a surprise. Just give me my cake. If I gotta send you money for 2 cakes so these niggas don't get, I'm eating that cake in a week. I'm eating all that cake in a week. That joint was hidden, bro. Like it was hidden. I can't even.
I don't know why, but I just got visions of you showing your ass at the studio because somebody ate the last of your birthday cake.
I'd freak out.
Yeah.
I'd freak out.
Is that nigga Eve in barbershop with the apple juice? That nigga P, who drank my apple juice? That nigga shutting down all studio sessions for the day.
Bro, red velvet cheesecake, man. Like I don't like them. Yeah. The only way you can improve that is red velvet cheesecake, and you throw like some way you formulate sweet potato pie at that thing. Like that's the only way you chopping that. But red velvet cheesecake, I was stupefied. It was crazy.
Man,
I didn't know you could do that.
Hey man, not to cut you off, man, but tell me something good, man.
Oh man, let me tell you something good, man. So
you should be in love with
yourself. Get to my snack.
Twitter users, we peruse the internet for good things to happen in this world. And I found something on my feed from a young lady who was shouting out a family member of hers. Her name is Uzo Joku, and her auntie is the first Black female owner of a medical group with all doctors of color in Maryland. The Summit Medical Group in Columbia, Maryland, features all women of color, all doctors of color. And it's a woman-owned, Black-owned. The young lady is, I think the owner is Nigerian herself. But they offer family medicine, pediatrics, internal medicine, nutritional medicine, psychotherapy, occupational and travel medicine. And Dr. Jide Udochi, I hope I am pronouncing your name right. Dr. Jide Udochi, medical director of Summit Medical Group, is the first Black-owned medical group with all doctors of color in Columbia, Maryland. So shout out to you for realizing this dream, and I hope you are not the only. I hope it leads to a whole lot more of you in the industry, because we need you, especially with the mortality rate of Black women being the lowest mortality rate for giving birth that we have. I hope we see more Summit medical groups popping up around the country and around the world, because we need more doctors of color that care about our people of color, and bringing us into the world safely, and making sure that our journey from inception or conception to transition is one where we have the best access to medical care. And it is my utmost belief that I believe Summit Medical Group is one of those organizations. So something good is Summit Medical Group, Dr. Jide Udochi. If I'm pronouncing that wrong, please correct me, and I will correct it on the next episode. So shout out to you and the Summit Medical Group. That is something good.
Boy.
And it's
That's
always
what's up, man. Yeah, man. It's your dog, C.O.D. signing off. Give me some headlines for me and PHTIV. And whether you're with your partner or someone's in need, remember that we at Give Me Some Headlines believe it is always better to give than it is to receive.
Welcome to Give Me Some Headlines. Is this post show? This ain't even post show. This is R4S. And let me introduce you to a specialty. Me and my G, we've been on this journey, man, and we're going to continue on this journey because there are a few things that I believe in. Four of those things are shelter, somebody having a roof over their head, a stable home. Second thing is education. And then the third thing is access to wholesome food. And the fourth thing is access to work and space to create. So this next thing is access to wholesome food. And one thing that I grew up eating, man, throughout my life was pancakes made by my grandma from Point Clear, Alabama. And what you see here is me getting my thing on with these pancakes. On the left, in the smaller window, you have me pouring a little bit of flour, getting that thing ready. That is King Arthur flour, unbleached flour. And I don't measure anything. I just pour things in a bowl, and I just cook until everything in the bowl is gone. So on the larger screen, what you see is me making some chicken sausage. I don't eat pork. I do eat beef, but I've discovered some apple Gouda chicken sausage delivered by.
That's for any of you rap niggas. I don't beef. My nigga P handle all you lightweights.
I don't eat beef.
Eat that shit.
But yeah, man. So there's a little bit of apple Gouda chicken sausage over there. And when you see it now in the left-hand side of the screen, I'm pointing to what I have in the skillet, which is the batter that I've made up. The batter consists of, and I'm back to let you know about that sausage, but flour is the first thing that goes down in that batter. While I pour in the batter, what I do is I take a good bit of butter. A good bit of butter. I melt that thing on low in the skillet.
Can I get the people some behind the scenes in their post show flashback to episode 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
I edited the guy up. My dog P gave me 2 beautiful angles. He shot HD with 2 different joints, and that's why you got 2 shots working simultaneously, and they had 2 different points, but you'll see the full process of him doing. See, he prepping the sausages over here on the left that you see looking delectable over here. So as he guides you through, just take the journey. Watch this twice. Click on this post-show thing and watch it again. You feel me? Go ahead, take the floor though. Appreciate that, G.
Yes, sir. So this is in our old place. We no longer live in this house, but this kitchen right here, man, had a gas stove top, and it had a griddle in the middle, man. So it made it really easy to grill sausage up. So what I did is on the left hand side, you saw me split the sausage down the middle, heat the griddle up. I usually do fairly low heat, so 3.5, 4 on if you have that type of dial for your stove, and I let it just simmer, man. Like don't try to get it done very quickly. If you let it cook at a nice pace, at its own pace, very evenly, I think you'll get a whole lot better product. So what you see on the left is me explaining what I have in my bowl. I have flour in that bowl. You add a little bit of sugar in that bowl, whatever type of sugar you want to. I believe these are chocolate chip pancakes because my lady loves chocolate chips. So I take, showing you I like organic eggs. I take an egg for the congealing of those pancakes or your end product. It'll stick together a little bit better. That right there is the oil that I use. And I always use like some kind of canola oil or something of the like. Don't use olive oil because you can't get your temperature high enough. It burns at a lot lower temperature, olive oil that is. And so what you see me doing right there is that was from the day before. What I like to do is take a little bit of the I like bacon beef.
May I interject?
Take a little bit of that. Yeah.
My dog Shan put me on avocado oil, bruh.
Yeah.
Caramelize you some onions and avocado oil. That shit different, boy. That shit different.
Yeah. But yeah, what you see on the left is me taking a little bit of beef bacon grease from the day before and putting it on that griddle where you see the sausage in the larger picture. And that'll give, because chicken doesn't have the fat content that beef does, I take a little bit of that beef, throw it in there, give you a little bit more flavor, and it'll help the cooking process a little bit more. In my hand on the left, what you see is Kerrygold butter. It's the best butter there is, Irish butter. Shouts out to my girl Maeve. We met her down
Maeve. Shouts out to Maeve
at A Ranch in Wyoming, in Campbell, Wyoming. Kerrygold butter.
Oh, you dropped the name.
Her home country. Yeah. Kerrygold butter. Yeah. They gonna hit me with that bag. I know they gonna hit me with that bag. And so
Jay, give me a free week every year. You can keep the paper.
Oh yeah. Or fly us out there. Yeah, we'll do some. We'll just fly us out there. Put us up for a week, man.
Come in at the private airport. Hey, we doing that shit.
Hit us with that love, man. Yeah, you need pay us and play us in vacations. Make sure we come over to Ireland. We don't pay for no vacation.
I was talking about A.
Oh yeah.
Give us a free weekend. Yeah,
chocolate chips. Those are the chocolate chips that I use. They come from Imperfect Foods, and so I just take a good chunk, handful of those chocolate chips. Depending on how chocolatey you like your pancakes, is how you'll administer your chocolate chips into your batter. And so
what you cooking them in?
Don't use. So what I'm cooking them in is I put them in the batter. So with the flour, with the sugar, I melt some butter.
I'm talking about a crusade.
I'm going to get the La Crusade, man. La Crusade, a little bit of an expense on the cast iron skillet side, but well worth the investment. What I'm about to show you right now is the almond milk. I don't like dairy, so I use almond milk. Don't like cow milk. So yeah, we black, we lactose intolerant, and I think what I'm doing right now is going to get my dog from outside because he was mad wilding. He really wilding.
We ain't lactose intolerant. We just not cows. That's all we is.
Yeah, I heard.
We have a cow.
We have cows. We are not them. So yeah, puppy was done eating. Had to bring him back inside. But yeah, so I take flour, sugar. While that's going, melt some butter. You take an egg, crack that egg into that guy. You pour a little bit of milk in there. You don't want it to be sloshy, but you do want it to have like a solid consistency that is not runny, but you do want it to slide easily. And that's King Arthur flour. And so I think I'll show you the consistency that I usually go for when I'm doing pancakes. Yeah, but I'm running through the ingredients, ran through the flour, the sugar. The sugar is the chocolate chips in this guy. So chocolate chips, butter, oil your pan after you get your butter out. So I have the flour there. What I'm about to do is I'm about to take that milk.
I told y'all he ain't half-ass on the angles for y'all.
Nah, not at all.
He shot the shit out there.
Take the chocolate chips, throw them in that guy, man, shake them around, get them good and mixed in there.
Talk to the people about the order. You mixing them in before you put any of your wet?
I do. So I put in all my solid first, except for the egg. And so what I do is I put in the flour first, and then usually sugar goes in there. But since the chocolate is substituting for the sugar, I put that in the bowl next. And then what I probably do next, you'll see me grab the milk or the butter. Yeah. So the butter's melting, or it should be melting. And so I'll melt the butter. And while I'm melting the butter is when I'll pour in the milk. And then that's when I'll try to get my the consistency that I want, because the butter is in there for, and you see, like, I don't measure. I just take a good chunk.
Dollop.
A dollop of butter. Toss it in the skillet. Let that simmer on low. I'll take another dollop. I took 2 dollops. 3. 2 of them.
He said that's the best butter in the world. His action supported ways.
It really is. And so what you see is, I'll take the almond milk.
I'm cheap. I be using Blue Bonnet.
Butter. Yeah, man. Treat yourself, bro. Like, life is too short to drink well liquor. Life too short to eat any butter that ain't Kerrygold, bro. Well, business.
Where they sell it at, bro?
You can get it at Publix.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm mixing that guy, and I'll show you the consistency that I'm looking for. So yeah, you don't want to over add milk. You want to add milk as needed. So when you pour your milk in there, you get the mixing it, you realize you're not getting the consistency you want.
Hit them with the construction metaphor. Measure 10 times, cut once. You never want to put too much in, then you're trying to add flour to get back to your consistency from too wet.
Exactly. And so I went ahead and put my egg in there, mix it in there with that second round of milk. And then you'll see the consistency that you go for is, just not, you don't want it to be runny, but you do want it to, you don't want the solid to be solid anymore. You want to mix in the solids with the liquids, get a solid mixture of that in there. And then once you do that, and it'll take you beating it around a little bit. Unless
beating it around. Roll that beautiful beat footage. Oh, so you melt the butter before you add it. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you up to.
Yeah. And
I thought you was coating the pan to put it on it.
So now, even though like the pan is still coated in that butter a little bit, and then I pour a little bit of oil in that pan now with that little bit of butter in there, and I cover the surface with it. And so my butter, my milk, my flour, my chocolate chips, or my sugar, and my egg are in my bowl. Pour a little bit of a little oil to coat my surface, and I do that so my oil is heating up. So you see what it look like in there. Coat the surface, and that you see the white part is that Kerrygold butter that's left over in there. Pour that oil in that guy, get it going, and while my oil is heating up, that's when I do the rest of my stirring to mix everything in. And so I've been making pancakes, man, since I was 6 years old. So almost 30 years I've been making pancakes. I'll be 36 next year.
I like doing them like this. Do you want me to cut the videos and then we talk through them like this moving forward?
Yeah, that'll be dope.
Okay, bet.
And you can ask me questions back and forth on why I do shit and how I do shit.
I notice your whip game is very, very. You keep your bowl still and move your wrist instead of moving your bowl. I'm very much a move my bowl and keep the same stroke type of whipper. Why you choose? Why is that a left-handed thing? What's going on with that? You don't trust your right? What's going on?
No. So what's going on is as I'm whipping, I'm making sure that I get all my flour into the wet mixture. And so
I see you picking it up right there as you turn it.
Yeah. And so I'm picking it up, making sure I get everything around the edges. And so what you kind of want it to look like is a little bit more liquidy than icing, if you or cake batter. So I'm whipping that thing around, making sure I get all my solid into my liquid matter.
That's why you showed your ass on me that week that I made the pancake batter at the ranch, cause I like my shit more liquidy than that. Cause you was like, oh, this whole Cambro needs some remixing. And you tried to do it on the low. Nigga went around the corner so I couldn't see him on the line. Look at this bitch ass nigga sucking dick on the yard. No, but the nigga went around the corner and started remixing the batter. And I'm over that bitch. And some tickets came up. And I'm like, where this nigga pee at? And I go look at him. He like, yeah, man, I couldn't send no more pancakes through the hot window like that. I said, God damn. Nigga trying to spare my feelings. Niggas was crazy in the kitchen.
But yeah, you see like the consistency of that guy. And then you see me putting it in a measure.
Yeah, it do look slightly more viscous than icing.
Yeah.
The viscosity.
So I put it in that. It's a lot easier to pour into the skillet. I learned that in Wyoming from that measuring cup. Shout out to
man, stop lying, man. You learned that in the streets. That's why you be on them Pyrex. It don't. Hey, look at him training Saint. Talk about the center.
Yeah, man. He is an asshole, a whole asshole. But whenever I'm cooking, he listens because he think he gonna get something out of listening while I'm cooking. So it's
he smelled them sausages.
Really easy. Yeah. So yeah, you see me pouring over the top of that guy. You see the coated pan, and I'm holding it over the top so you can see the size of about how big I usually make them. And so in the La Crusade, I usually try to get 3 pancakes in that guy, and it may not look like it's big, but they gonna spread out. I kind of pour it in one place and kind of let them form.
Spread from the center.
Yeah. So pour them guys down in there, man. Let them sit, let them settle, and I let them settle on their own. I don't.
Yeah, I shake my pan. I noticed that. That was my next question. Why you don't shake that bitch a little bit? I get that even consistency.
I let them become who they want to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't dictate.
Nigga, people making Mickey Mouse pancakes on request back in the day.
Yeah, you see the apple.
He didn't even want to comment, but that was a flashback.
Yeah, I used to.
That's where that technique came from. That's why I said that to you. I don't know if you remember that, but before you was doing all kind of different shit, and then they asked you to do that. You was like, and you made one. You was like, nah. It's the kid birthday. Let me try this shit again. And you put it in that bitch and you never look back, bro. You was in that bitch. You poured the one out the center and then you poured the ears right off of the top of the circle. Once it formed a little bit, you was like, bro, I'm fucking this shit up. Tell me I'm lying. That was the day, bro.
Yeah.
And then that nigga seen that Mickey Mouse come out and then started telling everybody on their birthday, we offer Mickey Mouse pancakes. No proprietary license.
It was not easy. So what you do is how you know that your pancakes are done and they're ready to flip is they'll start to bubble on the top side. So once they start to bubble on the top side, and you don't want to, like, not as soon as you see the bubbles, but once you start to see the bubbles and you get a good 7, 8 of them start to form on the top side, then you'll be able to easily stick your spatula up underneath, pick it up a little bit, see how brown they are, and it just depends on how brown you want your edges. Now, you want them cooked all the way through, but your edges are up to you. I like my edges a little bit crispy, which is my dog was like, well, it should make sense to me because I make pancakes so much that if you want your cookie edges to be crispy, put some butter in the damn pan. It very, very simple fix. With the sausages, how I like to do these is I really like that, you see that brown crispiness to them, and I press them down with that spatula just to make sure I get that even coverage, obviously because sausages like to curl up on the end, so I press down on them like that to make sure that they flattened out and they all get, they gonna get that heat, but I want them to make sure that they pressed against that surface, so I'm getting that nice crispy edge on as much of the surface as I possibly can, especially when they face down. Because when they back up on that curved side of the sausage, you don't.
You want to make sure it cooked through to the center.
Yeah. And cooking through to the center is super important to any kind of cooking. Not just to me, but any kind of cook. You want to get
you don't cook your meat through to the center. You gonna fuck around and get sick.
Yeah, you get sick, especially with shit like chicken and pork. But yeah, man. So I'm hitting you with. So what you're seeing right now was the bubbles on the outside, and so that it is the oil that we got in there, and that's the butter that we got in there that's bubbling up on the outside. And that's what I love to see. So like you'll see me move things around in the pan to where that bubbling action on the edges, like I know, because that's when my edge is gonna get crispy. And you'll hear me. I'll talk about that shit ad nauseum because I love them crispy edges, man. Love them crispy edges. Yeah, like I was telling my dog, my favorite cookie is a cookie that's crispy on the edge and softer in the center part. So what I'm waiting for now is you're starting to see those, where you see the glare on the top of the pancakes is where those bubbles are starting to form. And as that heat starts to rise up between them, you'll see those bubbles start to pop on the top of the surface. And that's when you'll see me make that flip. And so while I'm waiting on it to happen, hitting them sausages, you see me, I think I'm flipping guys over. Yeah. So you see that guy right there is like, oh man, that one on the far left and the two on the far, actually all them guys, man, because they got what I like to see, that brown around the edge and then that brown in the middle. And you see a little bit lighter color before you get to the edge and that middle quarter on each side. So what I'm showing now is the bubbles starting to form on the top of the pancake. And with chocolate chip pancakes, you will run into an issue, not even an issue. You want to keep it on low. And I flipped that guy over. I think I flipped it over a little bit early on purpose just to show you see the brown around the edges and the brown in the middle. Those are the touch points in the pan. And it is not that it's not cooked on one side. I just flipped it over a little bit because I like mine a little bit darker than what I have there. But it'll still get that same coverage. When I flip that thing over, just to show you, like, yeah, I mean, you can definitely flip it over whenever you start to see the bubbles on the top. But I've gotten to a point where I recognize when my bubbles are forming or how many bubbles I do have on the top when I can flip it over. The point I was about to get to was chocolate chip pancakes. If your chocolate chips, you see how they showing on that one that I haven't flipped. Once I flip it over, it's going to be on that pan. And so you kind of want to keep your heat low. So when you flip it over and the chocolate is in that pan, it don't burn your chocolate. Because chocolate is like olive oil, like it burns at a lower temperature. So you want to make sure that you're keeping your pan on a lower temp. And you're not, I'd say probably 3.5, 4-ish. Like, don't move it too high because, yeah, if you can keep that chocolate where it's more melted and it's not burned, it'll really, really work into the flavor of the chocolate chip pancake. And you can move. What I'm doing right now is I'm moving it around into that melted chocolate and getting it into areas that aren't they don't have as much coverage. So it's every bite has chocolate in it. So yeah, man. So that's Pancakes by P. That is Apple Gouda Sausage by your boy P, man. Get ready for the food truck because it's coming. R4S is only the beginning where we show you that we have this love for cooking. We show you we got this love, like same love we have for golf, is we probably got a more fervent love for the cooking, culinary arts, food and beverage, man. We gonna be here and you're gonna see a whole lot more from us. This is just a platform where we share our love for it, but you're gonna get to consume this shit with us at some point in the very near future, my guy.
Yeah, I heard him, man.